No, you deserve no food from me. You ate all my chicken. Asshole. You ate all my chicken. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Can I help you? What? What, baby? I still love you. Even though you ate all my chicken. Guess what? I brought more chicken. But not for you. Oh, your little smushable face. Your face is so smushy. You just got a smushy face. Yes, you do. Yeah. No. Just so cute. I'm feeling like one or two like really thick ass hairs right here that want to be like all up against my lip. It's like, no, don't do that. Hey, don't even start with that, bro. Well, you know what, actually. Should probably have this since I'm here now, a little close. Oh, hold on. There we go. I'll just put that right there. Oh, you sweet baby. What are you doing? Little goof. You little goofy thing. Here. Bada bing, bada boom, boom. Let's get the YouTube up. Get at least a little background music going for the start of it. Here. Here we go. Boom. I like this. Hey, White Bat audio. Clutching up a little bit. Now my little Telegram chat's being a little active. Actually, it's for the good. Getting more information about, fucking some of the primary results here. Which, if anything, I'm honestly very happy and excited for. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see what happens as a result. Doc of the Canada Dry MC. What's up, dude? At least, hey, I saw that, notification, or not that notification, but like the, poll results so far. Dude, 60.4% versus 39.6% against, on Kurt Schrader. I mean, I honestly, I just feel like that goddamn, you know, Jamie McCloskey Skinner just, I think she won. So. Also, my coworker gave me, like, this most insane looking coffee ever. Death Wish coffee, dude. And I'm still fucking pumped up on this shit. This is like the equivalent of, like, I know it's a chug coffee, but you know those Black Rifle coffees I drink? This is like the equivalent of, like, 3 or 4 of these. So, basically, I'm also, like, I'm worn out and exhausted, but I'm also feeling that, like, well, that looks epic. They don't sell it at my store. My coworker has a brother that works, I honestly forgot where, and they sell that at their little place, and it's called the World's Strongest Cold Brew. Funny enough, this one expired in 21 last year, but honestly, this is still good. It was all black, with some it was slightly sweet black coffee, so. It's not the usual type of coffee I would normally drink. I usually have at least a little bit of a cream in there, but it was actually not bad. But I'm still kind of all like, all like jumped up on that fucking caffeine buzz. Because I had to sip that. Like, there was no way I was going to be able to chug that. I'd be like, feeling like, you know, like I'd feel like, you know, I need all this energy to burst. So I had to at least sip it to kind of keep it somewhat more like, because I definitely was going jitter mode today, honestly. I'm glad I have a weekend, because I do not need I don't need more caffeine. Actually, do you happen to know what Mark Gamba is at when it comes to the 41st district for the state reps? Because that's another one I want to look at. Like, this 5th district for Congress and the 41st state house rep seat, and the labor and like the head of like the labor bureau, or like the labor and business bureau, or whatever. Like, there's one very pro-worker, pro-union type of person that's running for that. Those are like the big 3 that I'm kind of looking at. It's like a county like labor bureau of, you know, like affairs or some shit like that. I forgot what it's called. So, in other news, though this is actually kind of more just like some familiar, I actually found something out that makes me kind of feel like I have a little extra silver lining with my recent purchase. Because my uncle, who I dead-ass, I've told the story before, but I dead-ass think he's probably like killed one of my family members or some shit. I know you've probably heard the story at least. Apparently, for some reason, my mom brought him up again, like, earlier today to my dad, and he's been, you know, like, mentioned that to me, and I hit my mom about it. And she's like, yeah, me and my old friend were talking about him, and, you know, I heard he was, like, around, so we just wanted to, like, kind of remind people about it. And I don't know that story. Oh, really? I've told it on stream a few times. I could have sworn you probably have at least heard it, at least on stream, but the rundown is that my mom's dad, my granddad, when I was growing up, he had brain cancer, and I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure he was terminal anyway, but he was able to at least, you know, live a somewhat comfortable life, you know, as long as he had, you know, kept up on his medications and shit. And there was weekend periods where my uncle decided that he was going to take care of him for that weekend. And that's also the weekend that he also passed away, for my talk about my granddad on that one. So ever since then, including because my uncle also took a lot of inheritance out of him, away from my mom and I think, you know, a couple other family members too, thus by proxy me as well. And basically kind of ran away with it and sold a majority of the different stuff that was inherited that my mom especially was trying to get. And he basically purposely, out of spite against her, kind of did a Donald Trump essentially with that. And it's very strongly believed between a lot of my family that he murdered him. So it's just like, now that I'm hearing his name again, it's just like, makes me nervous as fuck. Crypto Bro officially lost celebration time. Good shit. But yeah, honestly, that's just kind of been on the back of my mind a little bit, because it's just like, because straight up, like, pretty much a majority of my family, even my dad, is just like, yo, that guy is not exactly 100% right in the head. And I've only had very few interactions with him, and he's always tried to be very, like, benevolent or very, like, you know, liking to me, and apparently he likes me a lot. So it's just like, I don't necessarily have a personal impression of that, but literally everyone else does. So it's just like, of course, Reddit candidate was way underperformed. Well, yeah, because when you have like a candidate based on basically being like some subreddit fucking meme lord on Reddit and shit, you're gonna fucking fail. Like, a movement and being a candidate doesn't start online. Reminds me of the time when, that one fucking anti-work subreddit person went on, I think it was like Tucker Carlson or some shit, and fucking basically made a fool and a mockery of not just themselves, but that specific subreddit too, and, you know, basically just workers, period. And it's just like, yeah, I wonder why these type of dumb fucks always underperform. It's as if they spend their entire political discourse and, by proxy, probably a good chunk of their lives on Reddit. So it's like, So I wonder why they always underperform. What's funny is I actually had a few interactions with that person who went on Fox News and made a mockery of, you know, of everything, because they had a YouTube channel, and they started literally going online and finding different videos highlighting their performance on that shit, and just started commenting on all, like, I even looked at like different comments from like, I know Vosh did one, I think Xander Hall, like a few other different streamers, and I think a couple other people like Kyle, you know, talked about this. I think the Humans Report too. This person was in like all these different comment sections, just like, oh, I'd like to see you do it, but basically just still feeling like they won, and they were like, you know, looked good at it at the end of the day. And it's like, you are literally like, and I responded a few times in multiple different videos, like, you are literally a fucking disgrace. And me being a pro worker and a working person myself, like, I would slap you and kick you out of the fucking picket line. You're a pathetic little weasel. Like, you literally made a mockery of all of us, and I'm supposed to have you on our side? Fuck off. It's like, what? It's just like, I mean, what bitch? Honestly, I haven't heard of a fucking peep out of that specific little person or ilk in general in a long time, so hopefully they've just been, you know, essentially just embarrassed into obscurity. Which good riddance, honestly. They don't need to be undermining this type of shit. We need less people like that. Because, really, it comes down to full circle. Reddit candidates and people who basically spend at least a good chunk of their life on Reddit, or all of it on Reddit, underperform. Go figure. It's like I could see the importance and usefulness of Reddit, because obviously I use it too. But it's like I recognize what it is. Like, it's not exactly, you know, the end-all be-all, or even like the best mode of, you know, getting shit out there. Like, in a way it can be, but I mean, there's plenty of other places that can be as well. So, and honestly, you know, Reddit isn't even like one of those things I had to put up there like on the top of the list. Maybe more like in the middle of it, because at least it, you know, does have like some pretty cool, legitimate, you know, shit and facts that you can find and stuff. But I mean, inherently, that's not necessarily what Reddit is fundamentally about. It's just like the subreddit, you know, like the whole idea of these different subreddits is like different people and groups and communities, you know, kind of gathering and just shooting shit and sharing stuff. So, which is all fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with that. But like the idea that these people, that there's a lot of different people out there that want to use it as like their way to push, like, you know, their political idea, or, you know, or fucking try to get a movement going. So like that isn't where you're gonna start it. I mean, it can help, you know, maybe get the idea maybe kind of out there, but that's all it literally is going to do. Like, you're not going to start it there. And that's especially, like, the kind of the mockery of it, too, I felt like, and shit, when it comes to these type of, you know, motherfuckers. Actually, I know the Human Support actually just made a video of, like, I just saw it. Oh, yeah, there it is, like, 60 minutes ago. Breaking progressives crush centrist Dems and primaries across the country. And I guarantee you Jamie McLeod-Skinner is going to be mentioned here. Honestly, I have a feeling, especially considering Mike Figueredo's in Oregon himself. Pretty sure in Portland, so he's probably in that location specifically. So the site says Gambit won, but I'm doubting the accuracy of the site because it doesn't even list his main opponent. Really? Huh. Okay. Well, I suppose it's not confirmed, but it's, you know, rumored that he won. Okay, so I guess that's not necessarily bad news, but, you know, it's still left in the open. So, okay, I'll reserve celebration in the meantime. I won't get my hopes up too much, because, you know, if there's not even, like, other lists to people I've never heard of, probably Republican candidates or some shit, because, honestly, it was Mark Gamba and then, like, one other person, at least on the Democratic ticket. Or maybe at least, like, two other people. It was Kaliko and someone else, I think. So, outside of those three, there's, I don't know who or how fucking many people are on the Republican side of it, like, nor do I really frankly give a fuck. But that would be kind of the perk about open primaries, because then I can actually, like, maybe see who potential opponents in the future can be. Or fuck, if, like, for some weird, odd reason, there's somebody who, like, outbased Mark Gamba that just for some reason is in the Republican Party, which I highly, extremely doubt that would even remotely happen anyway, but, you know, that's why open primaries, you know, I think are better, because there's always just an off chance that you might get a curveball dude that is just in a different party, but closed primaries just straight up prohibit you from fucking, you know, even having a chance to vote for that, unless you know, within a certain deadline, fucking, you know, switch parties. So it's, I mean, it's like, I just hate closed primaries. They are a load of bullshit. So that's really honestly one of the major fucking drawbacks about the Oregon State voting process is the closed primary system. At least one of them. Which luckily, at least, you know, when it comes down to it, I think that's honestly the worst one. But, I mean, unless there's something else I'm not really thinking of, but I'm sure there is. But, I mean, it's not really much really else to critique about it as far as I'm aware besides that. And I guess there's no multi-ranked choice voting, but that, at least I think for Portland, will potentially change. But either way, here, let's check this out. See who else has, made some leeway, in the country.
Heard there's been a couple of primaries that...
Kalinko is his first name? Oh, is it? I thought it was his last name. I thought it was like something Kaliko. That's what had me all confused. Oh, okay. Gamba won. Oh, sweet. Well, awesome. Honestly, Kaliko just seemed a little bit too, established. Like, I got a lot of fucking different shit. I got, like, when it comes to frequency of... Kalinko Castillo. Ah, okay. Yeah, when it comes to, like, the frequency of these stupid little, like, political things that you'll get in the mail, like, it was mostly Schrader and Kaliko. And luckily, at least for Kaliko, he didn't have, like, full-on establishment bullshit, but he didn't exactly have a lot of full-on hardcore progressive backing either. He definitely seemed more like a middle-of-the-road guy. But, I know with Gamma, though, he has a record of obviously being a progressive and a leftist. So, he's honestly that, like, even if Kaliko maybe was actually, kind of a progressive type himself, Gamba's got the backgrounds of proving himself at this point. Very recently. Like, his previous, office. So, it's like, he's got the record for it. It just makes sense. Like, people can actually see that Mark Gamma is actually, like, did shit, and can trust that he will continue to do shit, being in the position that he's in. So, it's like, he's proven that, he can have the trust of the people. And I do. Like, at least when it comes to local state politicians, he's one of them that I do actually trust. Because, again, like, a lot of different, like, infrastructure work that's, like, just right outside my house and shit like that, like, that's, like, if anything, all likely because he made sure that that type of shit was getting done. Or at least got through. So, again, he's got the track record for it. And it's not like, 20 and 40 years of experience and being established here. It's like, nah, I became a mayor and I just did shit, and now I'm going to be state rep, and I'm going to also do shit. Fuck you, what are you going to do about it? Like, I mean, that's essentially, like, his, like, motive with this shit. I like it. We need more like him, honestly. He might not be, like, a rabble-rousy, like, in-your-face guy, because, honestly, he, definitely doesn't strike me as that, but he, like, he's gonna walk the walk, regardless. So, at the end of the day, it's like, he's somebody that I can trust to actually get shit done, and at least, fight for it at the very end of the day, even if he can't just get his shit done, right off the bat. Because, again, he's got the very recent proven track record of it.
And
something you really don't get out of politicians that much anymore.
Had no intention of
a record of actually doing things. That's good.
My expectations were to the floor, and I really only do videos about elections if there's good news, if there's cause for celebration. But the following day, I was planning to do a breakdown as to why the night didn't go as we had hoped for, because that's just what I've become accustomed to doing on this channel. I've been doing it for a very long time. But I've got to say, the night did not go the way that I expected. In fact, this is probably actually the best night the left has ever had since I've been covering politics here on YouTube.
Honestly, it's because that as much as these divides, as much as all this shit to keep people distracted, as much as they are legitimate fights that need to be had, like, when it comes to things like Roe v. Wade and shit like that, the momentum don't stop. It ain't gonna stop. And it's only growing. And honestly, all these different things are just a way to try to distract people to make themselves feel like, oh shit, we just don't got the power or the strength or the ability or the influence or anything to do anything about it. But yet, here we are. It's like, yeah, guess what? We ain't stopping, bitch. I mean, because honestly, fundamentally, it never really seems like it, but the whole idea of getting people more unified and organized and shit, it's happening, and it's not like people aren't doing that. Because honestly, in my own workplace, despite people's, variations of different ideas, politically and otherwise and shit, I mean, I would say probably, I think on a very generalized level, at least, maybe some form of, like, progressive or, like, SOCDEM or something like that, some way, shape, or form, for the most part, but, again, it varies. And it's like, there's still, even despite that, like, a lot of unification when it comes to just, you know, the common everyday issues we all have to deal with and shit, you know? So it's just like, I mean, if it's there, and, you know, as long as just people actually talk and, you know, just communicate and just, you know, keep each other informed about different shit, which I try to do with a lot of my coworkers, then, you know, it makes it not entirely seem as all like, oh, you know, we just can't do shit and blah, 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 and, you know, and be kind of a naysayer in a sense. Because, you know, it's like, it's not like people like me want to be, but we actually have to have people that, you know, are worth the fuck to put out there. And this proves that if you do, you get shit done. Hence Mark Gamba. Like, he's somebody who, because of a lot of the momentum of, you know, making sure that's, you know, we actually have somebody that actually legitimately is worth a fuck, who's actually going to try to help people, gets pushed through, you know, and actually gets built up and eventually gets some form of an office, whether it be a mayor or whatever the hell, and that's the start. And then you could just get your way up, and sometimes very quickly, especially if you get results. And that's the key of it, getting results. And even if Gamba, let's say hypothetically, couldn't get, like, really realistically things done, but at least was still vigorously fighting for it, and at least still prove that, then it's like, I can at least trust him to still fight for it, and at least still be trying to, you know, push for what needs to be done despite that. Because it just also shows that, you know, there's still a system that we need to bump up against. But at least locally around here, it's not so much. Luckily, unfortunately. But not in the rest of the country, not so much. The fight needs to be very strong in a lot of other places in this country, especially in the South, considering, you know, a lot of different things that they're about to really start, you know, ramping up on.
Went down in flames across the country. Progressives had blowouts, won in unexpected races, won in expected races, but still I had my doubts, because this is America, and whatever can go wrong usually does go wrong. So even in these races, like the Pennsylvania Democratic Party primary, you know, John Fetterman was polling far ahead, but I still thought, I'll believe it when I see it, right? Who knows what can go wrong?
I mean, that's probably the best tack to have it. Believe it when you see it. You know, just don't get your hopes down or up until you see the result. You know, you never know what's going to really truly happen.
A lot of things went right, and we even saw some unexpected things happen on the GOP side, where more fire-breathing, psychotic Republicans who were endorsed by Donald Trump not doing too hot. So we're going to break it down.
Oh, I thought he was going to say, you know, getting, you know, slam dunking bitches, but the opposite, really? Huh. Interesting, but not bad news.
Like, taken aback by the results tonight, because, again, I was anticipating bad news. I had braced for bad news, but what I'm getting is the opposite, and genuinely, I don't know how to process it, because in the United States of America, especially if you're a leftist, this usually doesn't happen. So let's talk about the Republicans first. So Madison Cawthorn has lost his primary.
What? You know, in a weird way, I was actually kind of strangely warming up on him. What? Wow. Man, the Republicans fucked him, dude. They're like, oh, you're gonna leak things about us? Well, fuck you. And they murked him, dude. Wow. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I actually was a little bit warming up to him because of all these leaks and shit. Like, because it's like, damn, it's like cross-dressing, getting freaky, and it's like, oh, like, that actually was building some respect points for me a little bit. I was like, oh, wow, okay. But, wow, oh, man, I kind of feel bad a little bit for him. I actually do, in a weird way, kind of feel bad for Madison Cawthorn. I mean, he still has kind of some shitty politics, which is kind of why, in a way, I feel bad for him, because, like, I feel like he's just legitimately, like, a young buck who's just, like, an ignorant little kid who probably bit way too much than he could chew, and maybe there could be a redemption arc? I don't know. Like, I actually kind of strangely am a little, you know, empathetic to him a little. Like, I kind of feel, you know, I kind of feel for him a little bit. I mean, not a lot. I mean, I will... You know, I'm not gonna be like, you know, total, like, you know, respect out of him or whatever the fuck, but, like, I mean, it was building up a little. I was like, yeah, like, what? Oh, man, I kind of want to see where, I wanted to kind of see where he was going to keep going with that shit, dude. I wanted to kind of see him keep stirring the Republican pot, dude. Dude, he was great for that. He was doing good with that shit. Oh, man. Oh, I'm honestly legit disappointed. Man, that guy sucks. He was like the one weirdo that, you know, on the Republican side that was all like, yeah, my rights, like all that shit. But it was actually kind of strange to like, okay, whatever, but then the leaks came out and I'm like, oh, okay, strange respect points kind of popped up there. And, oh, like, for me at least, he was kind of building up a little bit and then he got taken down so quick. No more fascists. I mean, I fundamentally, I do agree. Like, when it comes to his politics, yeah, fuck him. You know, I'm just talking, like, on a personal level. Like, on just, like, him as just a person. Not, like, if, fuck his politics. His politics are garbage. That's why I kind of maybe, hopefully, leave out a redemption arc idea, because considering that, like, dead ass, he actually looks kind of sexy cross-dressing and shit. I'm just putting that out there. So, I mean, like, honestly, it looked like he was dead ass into it. He was like, you know, he was really into it. So, it's like, I don't know, like, he's got, like, you know, kind of a dark, well, not dark, but he's got, like, a kinky underbelly, you know, so it's, I feel like if he just embraced that about himself, he might, I think, worse, maybe be a lib. Which I guess that's the best we can hope, I suppose. Like, honestly, I mean, I'm having an optimistic view about him, honestly. He's one of those few, like, Republican dudes where I'm honestly gonna have, like, a shred of optimism. But he's pretty much the only one. Like, whatever optimistic, like, there could be change out of him, all of it is absorbed into him. That's basically it. And, well, now that he's not there anymore, it's kind of got Thanos, so it's all gone now. So, like, yeah, I mean, at this point, whatever percentile of, like, hopefully there could be redemption arc mode for anyone on that side, it was him, and now he's kind of gone in. Well, I guess it could still happen, but now it's not the, you know, but you get the idea. He's like the only one I feel optimistic about, like he can have like a Hunter Avalon mode or some shit, but anyway, whatever. I'm still a little like, damn. I want him to keep spilling the beans, dude. Like, he was spilling beans about the fucking Republicans and shit. Like, that's why I liked him a little bit. Because he was spilling a lot of beans. That's why he got taken out so quick. They didn't want him spilling beans. That's why. I mean, that's kind of why I'm a little sympathetic to him. Because he was kind of spilling some beans about their fucking weird backroom, like, orgy shit and all that. Ugh. Just thinking about the oh, God. Ugh.
One-term congressman. He was defeated by Chuck Edwards. Now, Chuck Edwards is someone who...
Oh my God, he literally looks like a muffin. This guy looks like a fucking, like, Raisin Bran muffin. Like, oh my God.
So if you're watching this program...
He lost to him? Dude, wow. I can't believe the Republicans propped that fuck up and won.
Regularly, you're not going to agree with him, but he seems like a more rank-and-file establishment Republican, like he has his...
Is that any better, honestly? Because the rank-and-file Republicans are essentially the psycho-fascists, but it's more civil. Like, whatever.
Thing going on, but he doesn't seem as, like, I don't know, insane as Madison Cawthorn. So, to not have Madison Cawthorn in Congress is really great, because Madison Cawthorn is psychotic, and if we have one more Republican who's seemingly going to blend in with the rest of them, and we don't have this individual who's kind of getting a lot of headlines and shifting the country to the right, I think that's genuinely a good thing. But I've got to say, you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, it is. I mean, I will say that it is.
Madison Cawthorn said that there are members of Congress who like to partake in parties involving, you know,
cocaine orgies and
flour. And on top of that, he said that they like to attend sex parties. They've had it out for him. There's been a slow drip of scandals about Madison Cawthorn, and... But
that's partially, at least for me, why I kind of was building respect for Cawthorn, because the leaks came out about him, and it was legit kind of spilling the beans a little bit about what the establishment kind of does on a daily basis, honestly. Because I guarantee you, the shit that he was talking about is more or less kind of a daily type of thing and shit. So it's just like, I mean, it wasn't for his politics or anything like that. It was just literally more so just more as like a person just doing that shit. It just, yeah, so like, that's where, fundamentally that's where the respect came for the guy. It was just because of that shit. It's like, okay, you're spilling beans about him? Awesome. What else are they doing? What else are they doing? Tell me more. Ooh. Oh, dude, he's gonna probably, profit off of it. He's gonna make a book and talk about, he's gonna do a book. He's gonna do a book. I'm predicting it now. Aston Cawthorn is gonna write a book. He's gonna write an autobiography about his one term and about all the weird, mischievous shit. He's gonna really, like, heavily, weigh in on that, like, sex orgy. Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do a book.
That essentially lead me to believe that he's a closeted homosexual, even though he's
bi.
Anti-gay. I mean,
nah, he might be that way, but he's an insecure bisexual. He strikes me as a bisexual, and honestly, he's an insecure one, and that's why I think if he just embraced, these different things about himself, like being bi, kind of into cross-dress, all these different things, like, I feel like, at worst, he'd probably be like a lib or something. Like, because, when you got leaks where it's like you're obviously doing some kind of, homoerotic shit and cross-dressing stuff, it's like, yeah, you're bi at least, dude. Because he's hanging out with chicks and obviously, I think he at least, partakes, in the female persuasion as well. So I think he's bi. And honestly, it's just like, just embrace it, bro. It's all good, man. Like, hey, evidently you're into it and you like it, so why are you being like that? Like, come on, dude. Like, evidently you were trying to do it for, like, some weird political points, but you're not there anymore, so, and realistically, you're not going to be able to get back in with them, so where else is that going to leave him? Just, write a book and just kind of ride a weird, like, right-wing celebrity ship that will slowly fade? Like, he's gonna, I just feel like he's going to do it. He's gonna have, like, some weird redemption arc shit. I don't know when. I just feel like he might. Like, I honestly, I'll rule it out. I at least have the rule of, like, he might not, but I just have I have a hunch.
Very bizarre. There's a video that they leaked of him naked with, I'm not sure if this was confirmed, but his cousin in a bed, and he was humping his cousin's face.
Honestly, I don't know if it was. I think that's a rumor. Like, I don't know if that part's true. I still weirdly kind of want to see the video. I still haven't seen it yet, but, like, I mean, I honestly, I don't think it is his cousin. I think that shit's just straight up rumor mill. I think, Republicans probably just added that to add a little, like, oh, he's really dirty because he likes to be in a family, wink wink, or some shit. Like, I think they're just trying, I think that was just more of a character assassination shit on the GOP, honestly.
All of these scandals don't really
trying
matter.
To make it like, the LGBT want to, like, groom your kids and, fuck your family and blah, 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 and all this weird shit. Like, I feel like that's more of, like, implying they don't. Yeah, honestly. Well, for Madison Cawthorn, I don't know. Well, I don't know if he does. But the rest of the GOP that are character assassinating him and, fucking him over because he spilt beans on them and was, kind of releasing a lot of things that would be considered dark secrets to a lot of the Republicans and shit. It's just like, yeah, it just makes me really, strongly think that, which is kind of why I have at least kind of somewhat defensive, not like strongly, but at least when it comes to him as a person, like when it comes to his politics being a psycho, like borderline fascist piece of shit, fuck him for that. But for this other shit though, it's just like, I don't know. I'm willing to, at least still see him as a person in that instance and be like, alright, I mean, Republicans are straight up just character assassinating him. Like, for the most part, that's what they're trying to do. So, like, the shit about him, like, he's fucking his cousin and all this other shit, it's like, yeah, like, I'm sure the video he's doing some homoerotic gay shit, but his cousin, I don't know, I highly doubt that. I can see that with Ted Cruz, or Ron DeSantis, or pretty much, like, the majority of other Republican fucks, but I don't know, not with him though.
what he does in Congress is by far much more damaging, but the GOP had it out for him, which leads me to believe that, the white substance sex parties are a real thing, and now that...
Yeah, like, honestly, especially what Madison Cawthorn leaked out and was spilling the beans on, essentially, for me, in my opinion, like, it makes me believe that what he's saying about that shit is true. Which honestly makes me think that, there is, like, in a weird way, like, a sense of honesty in him. So it's just, like, which makes me believe that I think he truly believes what he believes, at least when it comes to his, views and shit. Which is why I guess I have, like, a different view about him, more specifically than, like, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and shit like that, because people like her are just literally detached from reality or outright fucking psychopathic and need to be locked up in an insane asylum. But him, I mean, not as much, really. Like, he seems like an actual, like, person that does believe these things, but, it just seems more like kind of caught up in it and is a fucking idiot for it. But I don't know. Like, I guess I'm still having that optimistic view of, like, he could probably have a redemption arc, maybe. But, again, it's just an optimistic maybe. Like, I don't think he might, but I'm holding out for it, I guess. I still find it kind of funny that he was just, like, basically as soon as he spilled, like, even the most smallest of the beans about it, it's like, oh yeah, I was invited to some of these things, and yeah, they kind of do these things, yeah. And just like that sly, casual thing, and it's like, the entire Republicans are like, take him down. It's just like, damn, such a short-lived, tenure that he had. And the fucked up thing is, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are gonna keep going, I bet. She's gonna probably still fucking, she's gonna have a second term, isn't she? I bet. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's the fucking worst of it. Ugh, oh my god. Then it got, like, some literal, like, muffin to replace him. I guess, I mean, he's more of like, I will just kind of be quiet and just kind of, follow Republican stuff, I guess. But it's like, is that really better? I mean, the Republicans basically, do what a lot of the fucking psycho-fascist motherfuckers, openly boast and blare out with a foghorn about. They just want to be quiet about it and have more dog whistles and really, at worst, be more like Tucker Carlson about it, where they might talk about it endlessly and shit, like, oh, great replacement, and all this other shit, but have it in a very soft language instead of a very foghorn approach like Marjorie Taylor Greene or some shit. So it's like, are they really that fundamentally that different? Methinks not that much. She's gonna be blowing hot water out of her ass hardcore, probably hire Alex Jones as consultant. I mean, she probably listens to him very frequently. I think she's actually had, like, a few statements where she's actually kind of defended him a little bit, but I could be wrong on that. Though knowing her, I'm pretty confident that she has. But anyway, let's keep going with the vid.
Names, but there's that. So getting to the Republican primary in the state of Pennsylvania, you had David McCormick, Dr. Oz, and Kathy Barnett.
Oh, I forgot Dr. Oz was in this. Ooh, how did he do? Why is this? Oh, here, hold on. We gotta, like, get that at least a little higher quality. I need to, like, actually, where's Dr. Oz in there? Where is he? Oh, there he is, Mehmet Oz. Okay. What did he get? 31.2%. 31.2%. 31. Damn. Wait, he tied? What the fuck? He tied? Damn.
Not gonna know the results, but Dr. Oz and David McCormick are in a dead heat, and Kathy Barnett is coming in a distant third place.
Man, honestly, I can't believe Dr. Oz is actually, like, kind of, like, I honestly thought he would be kind of seen as a joke a little bit. Dude, like, cause man, he's trying to perceive himself as like this, like, I'm a gun-loving conservative type of blah blah blah. Even though he's actually had statements being more like in favor of gun regulations and shit like that in the past, and like, the dude is literally being a fucking grifter charlatan, but he always was, honestly. Like, I mean, he would always do this weird, like, herbal medicine, fucking like snake oil bullshit, on his show. Like, I mean, so he's not really that much different from any other snake oil salesman, con man, piece of shit. But I guess this whole snake oil thing decided to wear out a little bit. So now he's trying to replace snake oil with politics. And, oh god, he actually might be in it. No. Can we just stop with the celebrities? Like, why? Why do we have... Why do we do this? Like... I was about to say literally no other country does this, and then I remembered Zelensky was kind of a celebrity a little bit, and, you know, so it's like, fuck, okay, maybe we're not the only country, but, like, so it's like humanity in general is at fault for this. Like, why are we as a species just so fixated on celebrities we think they are like, yeah, let them run government, that works. It's like, it's like, you know what, maybe there might be some that legit got some good ideas. Like, okay, sure, like, exceptions to rules, but, like, I don't know, like, has the results really shown that? Like, really? Have they? Because I don't think they have. Oh my god, what are we doing? Okay. I had to get that out there. I had to get that out.
Oz and David McCormick, but Kathy Barnett was, I think, the worst in this race because she was so extreme. She marched with the Proud Boys, you know, at the Capitol.
Well, that makes, honestly, like, that should fucking be a disqualifier. Like, fuck you. Okay, fuck that cunt. I'm glad she lost. Like, wow. Okay, that should just disqualify you. Like, oh, you marched with the Proud Boys? Well, you're disqualified for running for office. Oh, why else would Americans care who the king and queen are? Fight an entire war over it. Fucking Stockholm Syndrome. I know, dude. At least I got, like, you know what? I'm more of a goddamn American patriot than most goddamn fucking Americans. Because I still look at the royal monarchy and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we need an American Revolution, Independent War 2, Electric Boogaloo. Fucking take out that royal monarchy once and for all in Minecraft, figuratively speaking. And hold them into the court of law and, you know, try them at the Hague, you know, because they're a bunch of fucking weird tea-taxing fucking goddamn, you know what, where's my, oh, I don't even have it in my, it's in my room, god damn it, I was hoping my tricorn would actually, I would literally wear, you know what, by the time I come back, it would have been dry at that point, you know, fuck it, god damn it. Abolish all monarchies, shouldn't need Minecraft. Well, I mean, the way I was starting to talk about it, I needed to emphasize a Minecraft, because, like, honestly, it was getting borderline, like, incitement. So for me, I had to put a Minecraft in it. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, abolish monarchies. So, American War of Independence 2, Electric Boogaloo, abolish all the monarchies. Don't stop with fucking, you know, the English monarchy, you know. Norway, your monarchy's coming. Sweden, your monarchy's coming. Fucking Saudi Arabia, your monarchy's especially coming. We're bringing the big guns for you, motherfucker. And, you know, yeah. Why would YouTube stand for the UK monarchy? It's because of the broad, vague incitement of violence, encouraging terrorism and harm, and blah, 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 blah. Saudi Arabia needs to be hella abolished. Like, unironically, I would do, like, Iraqi Freedom to Electric Boogaloo on their ass. But actually do it right. I mean, I know fundamentally, and know in America, they would fuck it up, so I would not make America do that. I would just basically have, like, hey, other countries, do you want to, like, put weapons to, like, you know, leftist and progressive groups and organizations who are, like, in the, you know, like, underground, and just, you know, give them enough, you know, means and conditions to basically just, like, surprise uprise against Saudi Arabia and just establish a true democracy, and you can kind of maybe still get your bullshit, but at least the people don't have to live in an oppressive shithole. It's like, and, you know, just convince them, you know, be like, oh, okay. Have, like, Germany send in, like, G36s, fucking, like, England send in, like, in-laws or whatever the fuck. Suddenly Saudi Arabia is, like, monarchy. It's like, where the fuck did all of our people get this? What the fuck? How did I protect us? Oh, shit! Why are we being the Trump square? No! Damn it! I mean, it's like, Man, Chop Chop Square needs... okay, never mind. Alright, I need to stop. Like, okay, I'm about to get a little too even outside of, like, this shit. Because, Saudi Arabia is, like, so fucking exceptional, honestly. You know, to not go... I'll go on this quick little rant and get back to the vid, too. But, like... man, like, fucking Saudi Arabia's government is probably, like, the one government I truly, like, vehemently want to, like, see not just, like, Nuremberg-style shit, but, like... honestly, really legit just fucking further. Because, like, the atrocities, the crimes, and the just the barbarism of the Saudi government, like, it's as far as I'm concerned, just blatantly incomprehensible over the multiple generations that they have oppressed their fucking people. And it's just like, ugh. God, it's like basically feudalism, but just like with modern technology. It's just like, what the fuck is this? I mean, not just them either. Like, there's the United Arab Emirates. Like, there's a lot of different little countries besides Saudi Arabia. They're just the big boy that happens to be there. Bezos probably considers himself a monarch. Abolish him also. Oh yeah, he would. Chop Chop Square would have a lot of new residences, you know, making its way up there. Let's just put it that way. Like, if anything, we'll just let, you know, like, that one block, like, that one little square just be, you know, international, you know, lands, basically, you know, like, you know, whatever the fuck, you know, like, you know, the international community is, you know, kind of overlooks it specifically. It just make it, like, a very, very blunt version of The Hague, and, you know, reinvigorate it a little bit. Or, I mean, not The Hague, you know, Nuremberg, essentially. You know, revigorate it. We're not gonna go too barbaric of Chop Chop Square. That's a little too, like, what the fuck. We're gonna, you know, do a little something a little better, you know, like, a little something that doesn't have a lot of, cleanup, you know. So, like, you know, we could work something out. I'm sure, especially when it comes to the most egregious of offenders, like, you know, the Bezoses, or the, you know, basically the literal entire Saudi government and royal family, you know, and, you know, people like Putin, you know, like Trump, and, you know, amongst, it's just all sorts of, you know, we could work something out. I'm sure, you know, the international community would be able to, have a very cordial, you know, conversation about, you know, proposing some legislation that, you know, could be the best, you know, of how we can reform the infrastructure in that little, you know, specific geographical location. So, yeah. It's probably the softest way I can put when it comes to redact all redact. So, yeah. Anyway. Like, oh my god, wait, is that bitch somewhere in there? Oh my god, look at all these fucking... you know, honestly, didn't even take a time to look at those two little images right here, even though they're not, like, the full images. Like, ugh. Look at those maroons. Look at those sad maroon dupes. Oh my god, I hate how they have those reefs. Because what's fucked up, like, when it comes to those little reefs, I kind of go, like, whoop, and you have, like, a little something in the center of it or some shit. I actually kind of like that, but these motherfuckers don't got no right to have that shit. Fuck you. Like, it looks good as, like, you know, like a socialist coat of arms or some shit. Not like this weird Proud Boy, like, oh, we got Greek, ugh. And if we remember anything from that, like, Zeus episode, like, when it comes to, like, the stuff they venerate, like, Greeks and the Romans and shit, there's, like, a lot, like, Zeus is basically, like, an incestual rapist. Like, he wants to basically, like, rape fuck all of his family members and have children and fuck the children, too. Like, the dude is like, I mean, it's like, yeah, that's the white culture they want to fucking venerate there. Oh, yes. Let's have some pride in that. To be fair, Jordan does seem to be a bit better at it. But all I want to tell is a bunch of Middle East is why I'm not religious somehow. I don't see it going well. Yeah. Oh, I don't either. I can only imagine, like, depending on who I talk to, they unironically might either call for my death or call for it and publicly try to themselves and probably be able to legally get away with it because they caught you know, a fucking heretic or some shit. Or a witch or whatever the hell.
But whereas you have someone like Dr. Oz endorsed by Donald Trump, struggling currently, Madison Cawthorn also endorsed by Donald Trump, so that's something to keep in mind if his influence is waning. And honestly...
I guess in a weird way, I suppose Trump is, which honestly implies that DeSantis might honestly be the nominee for 24 if he decides to run. Because if this trend of Trump's influence is waning, then DeSantis is probably on the rise, on top of a few other people that might emulate Trump, but don't have the same veneer that he does. And that's obviously a major fucking problem. And frankly, like, regardless of, like, who it is, like, Joe Biden's gonna have a hard fucking time even going up against whoever the fuck it is. I mean, he's having a hard time existing at this rate, honestly, let alone fucking, being able to do that shit. So, it's like, honestly, it's going to be way worse than 2020. So, oh man, dude, oh my god, 2024 is going to be a absolute fucking shit show. It's going to be a shit show. On, like, every metric. Where is that little sleepy boy? It's not illegal to be non-Muslim there, but mob rule is hella scary. Yeah. Honestly, it's reminding me of this video. I actually kind of saw Hassan react to it, but it was like this video of this British black person that went into the most racist town in America, Harrison, Arkansas, which actually ended up being Zinc, Arkansas, which is like kind of a hop, skip, and jump away from it, where like one of the former heads of the Klan happens to be at. And the dude's also kind of a troll and kind of was fucking with him a little bit. And at the very end of it, like the former Klan head started realizing he was being fucked with, and he was like, "All right, you could just leave." And basically had his buddy kind of start walking off into his house or some shit while he was just kind of standing there like, you can leave. Like, kind of like that. And I'm just thinking like, oh my god, even though like it's only like two dudes and versus two dudes, like the fact that one of them is walking away probably grabbing something that implies like, very immediate harm. It's just like legit. I'm not even fucking kidding with this. Like, if one of those Klanmen decided to go grab a firearm and whack them, and then basically destroy all the evidence, literally no one would ever fucking know. Outside of the fact that, like, hey, YouTuber suddenly goes missing. Decided to take a trip in the U.S., went missing. No one knows what happened, and just literally will be the biggest mystery ever. Like, I'm just being blunt. That's what would happen. And it's just like, and he was kind of trolling him still as he was like slowly walking away. And it's like, at that point, fucking like have a fast-paced walk and just go, because especially those type of people, like they look at people like him and would like, if they had their way, would just see them and be like, why you're on my property? In fact, because you're on my property, I think I might lynch you. Like, they just, that's just their mentality with it. And it's just like, I would just, oh my god, I would just, like, leave. Even me as a white dude, I would, like, be there and couldn't help it but want to fuck with them. And they would suddenly be like, oh, so you're a rights trader. All right, you're no better than a black. Better fucking leave. It's like, uh-oh. Yeah. Unless I had some myself, yeah, I would too. So it's like, Wait, what the hell? Wait, what is this? Wait, hold on. Have you heard of Marcus Flowers? He's running against Marjorie. I saw his policies and I agree with most of them. Marcus Flowers? I haven't. I mean, if he's especially a pro-union dude, I mean, honestly, considering that he's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm already gonna like him. 18 toys that should have been probably somewhere else, put somewhere else. What? The guy just says, actually, I'm a sovereign citizen. And I don't recognize the concept of land ownership. She's a house hunting and Malawi, Africa, and an agent recently took her to a house that had a very weird toilet. That's when I got the idea to search to see where another way to look at toilets out there. Okay, what? Wait, is that it? It just looks like a square. Like, oh my god, who cares? Why? Why is this a thing? That literally looks like a normal... What? Wait, it's in a bedroom? Why is it in a bedroom? Wait, what the hell? Okay, I'm starting to see what we're talking about here. What the fuck? What? Huh? Are those like drawers? Wait, I think they are. Are they? I don't even... What the fuck? Why? What? Wait. What? Why? What? Should there be like a wall right there? What the fuck? What? Wait. They don't... Okay, hold on. That has to be Photoshop. Honestly, this one looks like some bullshit. Alright, I'm starting to be suspect about this. This is starting to look like some bullshit. Okay, this just... What? Okay, alright. Some of this has to be Photoshop. Okay, yeah, alright. I'm starting to strongly think Photoshop for some of these. You know what? That's kind of clever. What? Okay, whatever. That's not even hooked up. Okay, that's just creepy. Okay, whatever. Okay. That's in the ground. That actually makes sense. Like in some countries, their toilets aren't actually like toilets. They're just literally like a hole in the ground like that. So, actually, that makes some sense. Whoa. Okay, that's actually... Alright, this is unnecessary, but actually kind of cool. You know what? I kind of vibe with that a little bit. A soccer toilet? Oh my god. What in the hell is this? What the fuck? I would run away. I would not even... No, I would hold it. I don't even care if I am a... That's... Is that it? Oh, I guess that's it. Field shield toilet evaders are mean immediate use. I have a Marcus as I assume so, or yes or no for most questions. That seems suspiciously vague. I like his hat. I really hope he doesn't end up being some neolib. I hope not. I mean, I guess in a sense, anything's better than fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene, but we shouldn't be having that as a goddamn bar in a metric. So, I mean, hopefully he actually, does legitimately hold good policies and shit, and fucking walks that as much as talks it, even if it might be fake. Yeah. Let's see what else is in this little vid.
For any of them, but David McCormick is probably like the preferable one, because I think he's the most boring, who could lose easier against John Fetterman, because John Fetterman, and I've kind of spoiled the next result, but I'm sure you've heard of it by now. John Fetterman, I want someone who he can beat, and Dr. Oz has name recognition. He's a celebrity, and he's embarrassed himself. He's flip-flopped on a number of issues. He released that embarrassing gun ad where he pretended to care about guns.
Even me, as somebody that's like, like at least kind of alright with guns and stuff, I look at that and I'm like, dude, you're so fucking silly and fake. Like, honestly, any politician that literally does like some pro-gun ad or like anything like that, it's just like, oh my god, you're a fake. I just immediately think fucking fake.
I want David McCormick to be the one that John Fetterman faces. And we're not sure how this is going to turn out. But, I mean, in terms of a GOP primary, I usually don't care. But if the least crazy one wins, then that's when I'm happy. But let's get to what we all care about. The results on the Democratic Party primary side. And, of course...
I was kind of, waiting for that a little bit. We kept getting sidetracked with all sorts of other shit because I kept getting reminded that, like, oh yeah, Republicans / fascistic people exist. Yay.
Close. I mean, this is what polling indicated, but he absolutely destroyed the centrist Connor Lamb, who's Manchin's mini-me, in a landslide. 59
Manchin's mini-me.
26%. Let me repeat those numbers. 59 to 26%. Now, I went into this
let's go.
Thinking, okay, a couple of days ago, John Fetterman had a stroke, I believe. He had a medical issue, and I thought that could change things. And even before that happened, seeing...
Dude, he looks like a fucking, mega bro, dude.
This lead, I've been around long enough to see giant leads evaporate. Nina Turner in 2021.
He's got, insane ears. His ears are huge.
So I thought, not gonna get my hopes up. But, I mean, in this instance, what we expected to happen, if you follow the polls, did happen. John Fetterman absolutely crushed Connor Lamb, who is a corporate Democrat, who's terrible, who's essentially a Republican. He should be competing in the Republican primary, but he's in the Democratic Party primary. And, he said that...
Basically a Kurt Schrader who got fucking smashed.
If you want a socialist, if you want someone who's going to be attacked by Republicans, then vote for John Fetterman. Turns out... that's exactly what people want in the state of Pennsylvania. So, kick rocks, eat shit. Hope to never see you again, Connor Lamb.
Oh my god, he looks like a weird, botched, wannabe fucking, Soldier Boy Beta O'Rourke, dude. He looks like he wishes he was, in the army because he has, such a weird short crew cut. And he has, some weird, botched, Beta Dork, face going on. What is there a Beta O'Rourke lab and they just create different weird alterations of that dude's looks? Because oh my god, he actually looks like a distant relative to Beta O'Rourke. What the fuck?
The state of Kentucky. This is something that I'm very excited about. So a couple of years ago, Mitch McConnell, he was up for re-election, and there was a Democratic Party primary between Amy McGrath and Charles Booker. Now, the Democratic Party establishment came out for Amy McGrath, and everyone said she's going to lose because she's offering voters nothing, and she did indeed lose. We all wanted Charles Booker because even if it would be an uphill battle, even if it would be very difficult for Charles Booker to win in a deep red state like Kentucky, he at least has a grassroots move.
Dude, this guy looks like he means some business, dude. Dude, this guy looks like he wants to fuck your shit up a little bit, low-key. Dude, honestly, I'm loving some of these people who are actually kind of progressive and left-leaning, who look like they legit kind of want to fuck your shit up a little bit. John Fetterman looks like he wants to, fucking, go on a UFC match with you and fucking, deck your ass. This guy wants to... He kind of looks the same thing, honestly. I'm getting, the same vibe from this dude and, John Fetterman. Actually, because I didn't know, honestly, what they look like. At least John Fetterman, I didn't know what he looked like. And, I mean... And at least, especially seeing these two dudes and considering that they at least have, especially for Fetterman, a pretty pro-union background and shit, it's just hey, they look like they kind of want to, do a UFC match or some shit a little bit low-key. They look like they want to, fuck some shit up. And I honestly hope that my impression about him is correct.
Offering voters something, therefore he has a better chance. Well, turns out he defeated multiple opponents in a Democratic...
Oh! Dude, he slaughtered shit. Oh my god, he slaughtered it. 73.3%. Oh, baby. Oh, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Landslide. So he will be facing off against Rand Paul this November. And,
Oh, dude, if he fucking usurps Rand Paul, oh my god, that ramen noodled head fuck, oh, that'd be great.
Battle. But if anyone's going to face off against Rand Paul, who I'm confident in, it's Charles Booker. This is going to be tough, and we're all going to have to do our part to help him. phone
I honestly legit actually might donate to Charles Booker a little bit.
canvassing donations. But the fact that he won this, and he actually has the chance now, I think this is really exciting. Now, for this next race, I did not expect this to happen, and it came very, very, very close. By a couple of hundred votes, but somebody very progressive won her Democratic Party primary. I'm, of course, talking about Summer Lee, who defeated Steve Irwin by just a couple of hundred votes. I'll take it. This is...
Oh, wait. Some weird corporate shit lib is named Steve Irwin? Aw, that is an insult to the actual Steve Irwin, the proper Steve Irwin that we all know and love. Wow. Damn.
Medicare for all, student debt cancellation. Her politics are in line with the squad. She's more in line with viewers of this channel, so she actually is...
being more in line with the squad... would have probably picked the words better about that.
Aggressive. She ran this campaign with zero corporate money. She ran this campaign as a staunch progressive, and it paid off. And she is going to be a firebrand in Congress, and I'm really, really excited to see her if she gets elected. She still has to face off in a general election, but just to have her win this primary is really, really exciting. Now, last but certainly not least...
Hey! Yep, I knew it. I recognize that worthless fucking piece of shit. That's Kurt Schrader. That means he's gonna mention how Jimmy McLeod Skinner fucking murked him.
There's been a corporate Democrat dickhead who's essentially a conservative Republican, Kurt Schrader.
Kurt Schrader.
At the time that I record this, he is getting demolished. With 40% of precincts reporting Kurt Schrader is losing to Jamie McLeod Skinner. And I've got to say, if he were to lose this, and check the comment section because I'll be providing you with updates if there are any, then I cannot tell you how happy I will be because of how mad he will be. This is an establishment Democrat who is essentially a Joe Manchin light, if you will. And
he's Joe Manchin in Congress, basically. That's exactly who he is.
The sellout. He's been bought and paid for by special interests. So to have him be defeated by somebody who had not nearly as much money as him, you love.
Well, hey, she's union backed. She's fucking, pro climate action backed. She's basically progressive backed. I mean, she's backed by basically my entire town. Like, she's backed by a lot of fucking people. Like, she didn't need the fucking money. She had the fucking people backing her. Including me. I voted for her. Like, this is where electoralism actually fucking counts. Is when people like her actually, are able to fucking, take their shot. And honestly, there was different progressives in times past where, they've ran against Kurt and shit. But at this point, people had enough and realized, hey, shit, we can actually have a chance. And, someone came up to the, a fucking ring, and that was her. So, I mean, this is what happens when you have a lot of direct action and grassroots movement, built up, to a point where you can actually get somebody worth a fucking office. And that's where the electoralism counts.
Honestly, the tweet of the night is going to go to Ken Klippenstein, who says, centrist Dems eating a lot of shit today. Yeah.
Good.
So, I don't know why this is the case, why centrist Democrats are all of a sudden performing so poorly.
Probably because they literally do nothing besides literally appease the right wing and the Republicans and say, if anything, they need to be stronger.
I think that part of this is due to the way that they responded to the repeal of Roe v. Wade, how they haven't really been doing enough. I'm not necessarily sure, and we'll have to really wait and see what the exit polls...
I don't necessarily think it was just Roe v. Wade. I think there's been a lot of things building up.
Do a deeper dive, right? But either way,
I think everything building up since 2020 has led up to this.
This might have been the one thing that restored the spark. This might get me out of this doomer attitude that I've been feeling since Nina Turner lost. And
Mike, even I wasn't that doomer about it. Come on, Mike, be a little better about it. I mean, it's just like, that's why, especially when it comes to things like labor action and direct action, I don't give up on that type of idea, because this is the result of it. I mean, this is what happens as a result of when you try to focus on those things. And fundamentally, like, it feels good. It takes some time, but at the end of the day, results happen. And this is why, this is how, people start actually feeling like, hey, there's like some trust, or like there's some sense of like, you know, somebody actually fighting for me and is willing to have like a track record or has a track record, you know, to, you know, back that up.
It goes back further than Nina Turner losing, but you know, it's been very difficult to stay optimistic and be hopeful at all when there's just, you know, loss after loss after loss. You know, we're down, we get kicked some more, get kicked even more, kicked in the teeth. It just felt like we were never going to get a break.
That's why you channel that energy into something that, you know, ends up being a little better in the long run. That ends up making, you know, for at least, you know, legitimately, you know, incrementally, like an actual legit progressive incrementalism into the right, you know, place and shit. Like, that's why, honestly, like, I mean, I guess I'll turn it off when it comes to, quote, incrementalism, but honestly, if there is going to be, like, you know, some legitimacy to the idea, this is where, you know, you push it. Because people like Jamie McGlow Skinner, like Mark Gamba, John Fetterman, all these different, you know, people from not just Oregon, Pennsylvania, etc., West Virginia with Charles Booker, or not West Virginia, Virginia. I mean, it's just like, I mean, this is what it all culminates to. I mean, it all culminates to ensuring that, you know, the electoralism that is done is actually worth a fuck. And that's the whole point. I mean, that's why, you know, trying to prioritize on things like direct action and grassroots movements, you know, it's very important, because this is what it helps lead up to, and actually, you know, put somebody up that isn't just some corporate neo-lib shitlib or some faux progressive that, you know, talks the talk but will never ever walk it. You know, this is how, you know, you actually get somebody that not just talks it but walks it. This is how you get somebody that isn't just a corporate shitlib, and even if there is, they get smashed.
Democratic Party primaries, maybe the Democratic Party's base is waking up to the fact that the Democratic Party needs to change. This is what we've been saying on this show for years. So, look, I don't even...
Or quashed. Either way. Either quash it or legitimately have, you know, some reform to it. And honestly, if there's at least enough reform to it, that can at least open up to a more friendlier environment on a national scale for potential third parties. And hell, even if it's like a libertarian party that eventually maybe gets a little more influence before the Greens or some other party or some shit, I mean, hell, that will at least, you know, help, you know, change the status quo up a little bit, and honestly, maybe even fundamentally for the better. Because in a sense, I mean, who's to say that the Libertarian Party can't necessarily be reformed into what the more international idea of what libertarianism is about, instead of like this weird ANCAP, like fucking American libertarianism shit. So if anything, that could be an opportunity. And I think probably, you know, pretty curious but potential, you know, worthy one at that.
It's information. I'm still in a little bit of disbelief, but what I want to do is leave you with Summer Lee's concession speech, because the energy is there and I absolutely love it. So enjoy.
Wish I could hear her a little better. I hear the crowd way more than her, but I can at least kind of get what she's... I can kind of hear what she's saying, though. She's talking about... I know she mentioned things about clean water, you know, healthcare for everybody, you know, reforming education for every single child. I heard that specifically. Oof, man, I'm liking her fire.
We come together. We can't be stopped.
Ooh, I like that spunk. I'm liking it. Man, the crowd kept going off a little bit, and I wish I could kind of hear the last little bit what she was saying, but I think it was just basically thinking not just herself or the voters, but everybody. Like, I heard some about, thanking staffers, and a few other people and, things. So, like, I like her fire energy. Like, her energy is fiery and spunky, and goddamn, I love it. Ooh. She might be a force to be reckoned with. I like it. I like that shit. That's a good shit right there, I tell you what now. Man, I want to see, is there, like, actually any updates on, like, Jamie McLeod? Because, deadass, I really fucking hope she wins. I mean, considering things, I mean, it's being so far in the lead as she is, like, I'm kind of sure of it. Congressional District 5. Yeah, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Where is where is it? What the hell? Oh, looks like 25 minutes ago the results popped. Oh shit, the results. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. Come on, load. Oh, 49% reported, 60.2% for McLeod Skinner. Ooh, shit. 39.8% for Kurt Schrader. To get fucked, you corporate den worthless piece of shit. Get fucked, baby. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at them numbers. Oh, I wish I can kind of... Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah. Get fucked, Kurt Schrader. Honestly, Jamie McLeod Skinner won. Dude, there ain't no way. Honestly, unless there's somehow, like, a backlog of, like, neoliberal, like, Joe Manchin-style corporate pieces of shit that, like, come out of the woodwork out of nowhere last second, there ain't no way. Like, unless, like, the last little bit of votes that they're tallying up, their dead ass isn't no way. Jamie won. She's got that shit right in the bag. In fact, y'all, let's share this to my Telegram group. Send. There we go. Boom. There we go. And, honestly, all in all, it does feel like a pretty good day. Here, I just want to do one more thing. And boom. There we go. Man, honestly, all in all, I just kind of feel happy because Mark Gamba, now I guess former mayor of my town, is not going to be within the 41st district state reps. So I'm feeling pretty confident that he's going to potentially win on that shit. And Jamie McLeod, obviously she's... it's just going to be kind of a landslide on that one. Here. Yeah, let's see what other type of news is going on. Get out my little Telegram group chat, because now going back and forth with my friend. Wow, I like how the first thing I get recommended is a M48 Yugo Mauser. Oh my god, dude, that'd be so nice to own. I wish. Xander Hall reading the Psychotic Buffalo Shooters Nazi Manifesto. Oh my god, why? Honestly, it's just like, it's pretty self-explanatory what's in that shit. Like, what? There doesn't need to be, like, you know, an actual, like, deep dive into that Nazi goddamn worthless fucking manifesto of incel pathetic shit. Because really, fundamentally, there should have been only one bullet that worthless piece of shit fucking used.
Okay, thank God.
What are you saying that about?
Where'd you go? Well, as long as you're not clanking around that loud-ass phone.
He's over here. Hey, baby. Little Zukov. Come here. Zukov. Zukov. Why? Oh, you little ball. Look at you. Oh, come here. Come here, baby.
Here, the canine version of Curly's.
Zukov, come here. Oh, baby. Oh, look at you. Oh, come here. Oh, oh, you sweet baby. Oh, come here. Oh. Oh, you little baby. No, 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 no. You don't sniff up there. Oh, you sweet baby. Who's a good baby? Who's a sweet boy? Oh. Yeah, you can curl up in a little ball right here. There you go. See? Jeez. You goof. Oh. Kurt Schrader pretty much got fucked.
What?
Kurt Schrader basically got murked. Jamie McLeod Skinner has like a 60+% lead, and Kurt Schrader has like 39.8. Worthless corporate piece of shit is just murked. Mark Gamba also won his 41st House seat, the mayor of Milwaukee, so that's fucking nice.
Yeah.
Because he actually, at least has a record of showing that he actually is doing things that are worth a fuck. Like improving infrastructure around here. So.
Yeah, I could tell by the road out front.
That's what I mean. That's kind of what I mean, yeah. Oh, I just boo. Oh, this is a good boy.
Yeah, you a big plomping purr.
Oh, he does kind of purr. He got that from the cats. I know that for a fact. He definitely got that.
He keeps wanting to play with the cats, but the cats aren't very playful.
I know. Like, he keeps getting swiped, but he just, like, loves it. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Oh, you little sweet boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good boy. Oh, he's a good sweet boy.
I swear you're like the canine version of Curls. You're always scratching.
He's just a sweet little chungus.
You can just curl up in a little ball.
Yeah, fuck. What the hell?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a good puppers.
No. You're just a good boy, aren't you?
Oh, jeez.
Look at you. Oh my god, you're just knocked out. You just want to be plopped out into oblivion.
It's been drool on my back. Okay, dinner. Oh, hey guys.
Ugh. Oh, suck off. You sweet, lazy baby boy. Look at you. Oh, you're just a good boy. You're just a good boy. Look at this little punk. Oh, you're just a sweet boy, buddy. Oh, yes, you is. Oh. Here's a good boy. Yeah, are you a good boy? Oh, you're just knocked out, aren't you? You're just a tired, sleepy buddy. Oh my god, you tired, lazy little bastard. Oh my god, you goof. You just so silly and sleepy. You just a sleepy boy, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, you fucking sleepy baby. God, you really are knocked out. Oh my god, look at this. Absurdity. Me. I'm a sleepy boy. Me. Yeah. Yeah, are you just a sleepy baby? Hmm? You just a sleepy boy? Oh my god, you're just a goofball. You're just a goofball. Oh! Woke up from that slumber a little bit, didn't you?
Alright, next.
Oh, who's a good boy, buddy? Who's just a good little chunk? What in the fuck is he doing?
These bad boys charged up.
You find a box. What would you rather have in a puppy Sukoff or kitten bandit?
Not Curls.
Fuck, man, you got an ultimatum on me, dude. I can't fucking choose that. Oh, look at the little chunk. Oh my god, you little baby. Look at you. Oh my, hey. Get that little goofy head back over there. There we go. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, she's fucking baby. Are we serious right now? Oh my lord. Oh. Man, what a little goof. He is just like knocked right out. Oh shit, I have my chat turned off so I can see Zukov in his full glory. Damn it, I need it. There we go. Combine the two, band off, or zook it. Zook it. Bend off. Bend off at least sounds better, honestly. Yeah. I'm just gonna flip your ears, bitch. How about that? Oh. Oh, little fucking twerk. Okay, I can't keep those ears flipped. Mm. 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 You're trying to find a way to be comfortable. You're not gonna find a way to be comfortable with me, dude. You're just gonna be tormented with love and scritches and absurdity. His face could just be so smushed. He has a smushable face. Look! His face looks so goofy when he smush it. My god, you're a goof. Well, you're just gonna have to accept that. Just gonna have to accept it there, buddy. Man, you're just a little chunk. Oh my god, you just knocked out again. You're just a tired, lazy little shit. Wow. You are just... This is just pathetic. Wow. Maybe if it didn't eat all my chicken tenders? Which also has garlic and onions in it, by the way, when it comes to powder on the breading, which is bad for you. It's probably what makes you feel like this. Where you feel all, like, knocked out and all, like, all poopy. You need to stop eating things that I eat that have onions and garlic in it. You're not supposed to. No, it's bad for your belly. It's bad for your tummy. God, you were just knocked the fuck out. You were just like, Okay. I'm done having you on my lap. You can plop wherever you please. There you go. Have fun. Stretching out like an absurd ball. What, you want to be on my lap still? I can't have you on my lap all the time. Just stop eating my food when when my friends are over, you need to stop eating my food, man. More realistically, my friends need to actually watch over fucking you more than anything. If you're asked to miss science all throughout school, I think this person will be it. Oh, God. I think the bigger issue here is sex work itself. Why is that a market for that? Why is there not enough women for men and vice versa? Why is the porn industry skyrocketing the last 30 years? Why is their country so starved for love? What? Is this person stupid? Oh my god, okay, I see immediately what you mean. Ugh. Gross. It's like, why is there's the big issue, sex work itself, why is that a thing? It's because people like to fuck. There's a biological urge to, I don't know, have sex. That's probably why. Man, what a maroon. It was a response to the tweet about someone's therapist not being comfortable with taking money from her because she does sex work. Oh my lord. Well, it's like maybe that therapist, you know, like either can, you know, refer to to their patient to somebody who would probably be more comfortable with them, or they can just suck her up, buttercup. Money is money, who cares? Oh, that's where he is. Here, let's see what our things are. Right on our little tube. Report Biden agonizing over student loan forgiveness. Oh my fucking god, are you actually kidding me? Why is he agonizing about? Okay, you know what? I want to hear it.
A is running this hilarious article. Biden drags his feet on student loan plan as allies urge bold action. So
well, there's probably going to be a lot more like fucking urging going on depending on who wins in the general elections.
With his decision on student loan debt.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm going to have to go back a little bit. I guess the audio didn't play there for a sec. Think about how many patients that therapist probably has, thanks to the fact that a lot of them have done fucked up shit. But, oh yeah, sex work is where she draws the line. I know, that even in itself is so fucking stupid. It's like, I mean, a therapist, you're going to, you know, get patients who, well, they're there because obviously they got some fucked up shit going on in their life and they want to try to, well, in a way, fucking help improve, you know, their life, you know, to not be so fucked up. So it's just like, I mean, why do you think, you know, your therapist to help with that? Like, I'm like, even a therapist sounds like a maroon. Oh my god. What if that's his therapist's Twitter? It's like, I'm not gonna, like, say I'm your therapist, but, yeah, let me just say, why is that even a thing? Like, boo, growth. I'm just glad when I got therapy and counseling in high school and shit, it was actually with like a therapist that honestly was legit, like really kind of pretty fucking cool. Like she was, definitely not necessarily somebody who was like a very like hyper, like pro weed type person, obviously, and all this other type of shit. And like, she was kind of definitely like a sobered over type, plus, kind of like a strange, in a weird way, like kind of a progressive that's like, I guess in a way puritanical, but not like a Christian or anything like that, or like a right winger, like, just, like more on a personal level, if anything, would try to, see the best way to, look at, a person's individual life, when it comes to certain things like that, versus, just being like, no, boo. So, she was at least actually legit pretty chill and actually pretty cool, but, nonetheless, it's just like, the whole point is that the idea is, like, oh my god, that I'm gonna have to mute, I'm gonna have to mute that, but, like, the whole idea is that, like, they actually fucking listen and will kind of break down, what's best course for you as a patient, because they take it by patient basis. Like, honestly, like, I guarantee you, like, the therapist I was saying, like, she probably had, all sorts of different, things that she probably would say to other kids that she would look at, versus me, just based on whatever circumstances that they were going into versus my own circumstances. So it's just like, I mean, that in itself is just so dumb. And honestly, I'm just kind of glad that, during my freshman and sophomore year, that there was this little building being built up that will eventually become kind of like a medical clinic, essentially, at our high school, where it was like a full-on building for that type of shit. There was like a full-on like little, exam room where if you want to get a checkup, you can do that. Where there was like different, counselors available. If you literally want to go up to counter and ask for things like condoms and shit like that, they just had that, so you could just get that if you wanted it, as long as you asked. I mean, like, it was like pretty much like a general run-of-the-mill kind of like essentially a clinic, that was funded and all paid for because it was a part of the school. And it was legit, like, probably the best thing probably one of the best resources I, was exposed to during my schooling and shit, at least in high school. And it's like, that should be, honestly, the fucking norm for, like, not just high schools, but even middle schools, and, hell, even fucking elementary schools. If that can, be possible, which I very well think it very fucking well can. So, it's like, that should just honestly be a norm, because, I mean, it's done a lot of improvement for myself and a lot of people that I know who was a part of it. So it's just like, that just should just be available. And it's not even necessarily something that, that should be forced or anything. The only reason why I took part of it is because I wanted to. So it's like, it should just be something that's, should be there and available if, just if it need be, if you need to. And that's how I treated it when I saw it, and luckily when I was wanting something like that, it just was already there for me, and I didn't even really necessarily realize it, because I didn't really think about it until I needed it, essentially, and I was like, oh, that's what it's there for, and I was like, oh, yes, that's pretty much how I felt at the time, and it worked out for the better. Which also kind of goes into this type of shit a little bit, of this whole student loan thing, because, like, it all comes down to education. It's just like, I mean, these type of things need to be a standard. Like, I mean, the idea of student loans shouldn't even be a fucking concept, and yet it is. Like, there are some countries, like, I know for a fact that, like, some countries like Sweden or Finland will actually pay you to go to college, instead of fucking, like, asking for payments and shit, where they'll basically pay off your fucking rent for the dorm and, like, for the books and shit like that. Like, that's essentially how they pay you. It's like, here's money to cover your dorm rent. It's just like, oh, awesome. So, like, the education's free, and it's like, hey, if you need a dorm, or even if not, here's some money for it. Like, the equivalent of, like, some dorm rent. And even if you don't need it, there you go. Boom. You got it. It's like, damn, that's nice. I wish we had that. The closer we get is FAFSA, and you have to qualify for that. It's like, ugh, gross.
And as allies urge bold action, So the tweet about this said, this is a direct quote, Biden is, quote, agonizing with his decision on student loan debt. Agonizing.
Why? It's one of the main issues that people, like, want him to fucking do. It's, like, literally, like, the one thing that he could do that actually would be legitimately worth the fuck, that could potentially, like, help, you know, save his potentiality of having a second term or some shit, you know, like it's the one breadcrumb that actually could be legitimately worth some shit, outside of, like, you know, continuation of, like, child tax credits and shit like that. I mean, there's, like, a few things, really. Like, I mean, doing the PRO Act would be another one, like, you know, trying to pressure and push that through. Like, I mean, there's a few things, you know, including this, that, you know, would be like, oh shit, that would gain a lot of support for. But yet, you want to agonize over the idea of trying to do it. Like, fuck you, you worthless, dementia-addled corporate piece of fucking parasitical shit.
Ugh. Harris, Klain, Ramamurti among advocates for debt relief. Hey, props to Kamala if that's the case. And the rest of them. Administration officials have kept legal analysis.
Wait. Kamala is out progressiving Joe Biden? I'm getting lit as fuck, and Biden's trying to bring down my high. Hey, it all comes down to a culmination of rants that, you know, ends up being nice and preachy. So, hey, it's all good. Shh. It's okay. It's all good. Because honestly, like, wait a minute. Like, Kamala Harris, like, she's one of the people trying to pressure Biden into doing this on forgiving student loans, or at least, you know, trying to encourage that further. You missed one? Well, evidently it didn't go through because YouTube fucked you over. You might have to try to rephrase it a little bit, unfortunately. Because I unfortunately did legitimately miss it, because I would have seen it pop up right here. Like, I guess whatever it was, not even Streamlabs picked it up. Because even, like, there will be some times where Streamlabs will pick up the chat here, but on YouTube it specifically won't. So, I guess, you know, every now and then YouTube could shove a spider pig dick up their Bezos hole. I agree. I don't even think Twitch is this fucking picky about it, man. Man, okay, as soon as my fucking roommate gets back so I can take his hotspot data again, I'm going to really make sure that this happens, because, goddamn, man. I'm just glad it's going to come back tomorrow. Because I'm like, yo, I really need it, not just for, like, you know, gaming-wise or anything like that, but I really legitimately need to, like, to reinstate some shit for Twitch. Because I still want to be on YouTube, but I want to use it more so for, like, you know, clips and segments that I might do on Twitch where, you know, I'm doing, obviously, shit like this, but it's more like, here's more of, like, a, you know, a rant or a topic, and, you know, kind of clipped out, you know, and shit like that. And then, obviously, some, you know, maybe doing them occasionally, or eventually maybe multi-platforming it. Multi-platforming it. Like, eventually that would be the goal. Because that's pretty much how a lot of streamers do it anyway. So, it's just on mobile. I think there's a way to do it, but it's not exactly, you know, something I totally understand. So, I mean, maybe. But even then, it doesn't even really fucking matter right now. Oh, what? Hey, Sukov, get out of the litter box. Get over here. Or go that way. Okay, that works too. But, yeah, at least when it comes to, I guess I could, but it would have to be something like D-Live or some shit. And the funny thing is, at least when it comes to that, I could say a lot of shit on D-Live that I definitely couldn't say on Twitch or YouTube. Like, a lot of stuff I want to say, I could say there. Well, you know, I guess there's definitely certain things I still couldn't, but I would be a lot more free to be able to say certain things. So, I mean, it's just like, I guess I could, but I would still have to watch it unless I'm strictly only streaming on DLive. But the problem is DLive has a bunch of people like Nazis and shit because of their, very more pro freedom of expression policy, which I'm not necessarily against, but because they're one of the only few that have that thing, those type of people would like to congregate around there because of these other platforms having a stricter TOS and shit. It's like a double-edged sword with both elements of those type of policies. Like, the double-edged sword is that, like, in a way, at least for me personally, I see it's like, it's not bad that, we have, a TOS that doesn't encourage that shit, obviously. But at the same time, I want, like, these type of political opponents or these type of political extremists to be in the sunlight, so we know who the fuck they are and we understand their ideology and fucking, especially in the sunlight, they're gonna be fucking like vampires, like, and get melted and be like, I'm melted! Because realistically, especially when it's just kind of right out in the open, like, most people are fucking against it, especially considering what Mike Figueredo's video was implying, like, that type of shit, that is kind of, in the sunlight, especially with Trump, is waning. So it's just like, I think at least to some extent there is merit to it, but at the same time, again, being the double-edged sword that it is, having those stricter TOSs and stuff like that also helped kind of, wane a lot of that influence too. So it's just like, I mean, I guess in a way, there's like, a little bit of a balance to it, which is, I think why, there should probably be more of a human element to actually, like, look through, some of these type of things and be like, alright, is this actual fucking, like, incitement of shit, or is this, like, joke, or is this, like, some dude just having a rant, or whatever the fuck, or is this somebody that just needs a warning because they're just going off some rant, but not meaning it, or is this somebody legitimately trying to incite shit, or whatever the fuck, like, there should at least be somebody there who is professional enough to know and understand how to decipher this type of shit or some shit. Because obviously these algorithms, especially when it comes to these more strict TOSs, don't get it right all the time, which is a part of the problem with having, these more stricter TOSs. Because, people like me, end up being a victim of that type of shit. So, I mean, it's like both elements and both, like, policy ideas are just a double-edged sword. Because the whole idea of the freedom of expression thing, especially if a platform encourages that more, is you're just going to attract those type of, more neo-Nazi type of motherfuckers, the more fascist type of people, the more racists and shit, like those, especially in this type of environment, those platforms are just going to attract that, just by proxy. I mean, so, being on those platforms, you're just going to get mostly people like that, and it's like, obviously you don't want to be around that, unless you are one of them, or are okay with it, or at least, are one of the weirdos that are like, I want to at least listen to them and hear them out, or whatever the fuck. Which honestly, it's just like, I don't know, like, I mean, there needs to at least be, a better balance when it comes to things like these, TOSs and shit, or at least have some sort of, like, actual, mind that, can look and actually understand and decipher these type of things or something, because as it stands right now, it's just, it really honestly just too volatile one way or the other. Like, it just, I mean, because now it just, creates this, sort of ambiguity of like, oh, like, the stricter TOSs, can pretty much ban whoever the fuck they want, whether the leftists or far-right Nazi extremists and shit. And the platforms that have freedom of expression pretty much weed out, potential people who might be left stuff because there's just so many different types of far-right Nazi type of shit motherfuckers on there. So it's like, what do you really kind of do? Unless for me, there needs to be like some sort of like, Internet Bill of Rights type of idea, at least at the minimal, and nationalization of telecommunications, and maybe at least, on the principle of like, expression, or like, some form or another, like, nationalization of, like, social media, at least to a degree. I mean, but I don't know how you would, work that out. Because, I mean, if they're kind of essentially a modernized public square, then we ought to at least treat it that way, but how do you kind of enact that? I guess that's kind of the more trickier question with it. Unless you want to, like, basically have internet from scratch and just do it over again. But, like, no one's going to want to do that. There's, like, no way in hell people are going to have, like, hey, we're going to shut the internet down for a month to, like, reform it utterly from the ground up. Like, like, there ain't no way in hell that's going to, like, work. I mean, I guess it could, but society is not going to be happy about that whatsoever. Even if it is for the betterment, so... I mean, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of a tricky thing. Google has been upgraded to Google. Oh my god. I mean, honestly, it's just like, I think, these search engines should probably be, in a sense, maybe nationalized to a degree. I mean, would help though, with that isn't really need for improvements. I mean, when it comes to essentially, like, reforming the internet structure, I mean, and how it, like, works, and especially when we're reworking a lot of these different, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it wouldn't necessarily be necessary, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know how, something like that would work anyway when it comes to trying to, like, reform how, like, certain things are enforced and shit on the internet, when it comes to, like, elements of the... I guess in a way they already do, so I guess they wouldn't have to do anything like that. It's just more of, like, touch on the innocent problem. Yeah, I mean, the tech isn't necessarily the issue. It's more of how we, like, really enforce these type of things. It's corporations that control it. Yeah. So I guess in a way it's more or less how do we, like, try to fundamentally, like, control them as, like, using these things as public entities, even if, there are corporations that still kind of, like, fund and, keep it running. Because at least, when it comes to the idea of social media, especially as a concept, that needs to be, intertwined with the idea of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I mean, I do, truly believe that, even if there are weird, wacko dumbasses, like, at this point, people like even Jimmy Dore that, will fucking, think that, the internet is strictly one of the place of freedom, even though it's not the only place, but, I mean, it's increasingly becoming so in a lot of ways. So it's at least, like, the idea of at least enforcing that type of shit should also, be on, like, platforms like, Twitch, YouTube, and etc. as well. Really, I guess, just, like, how do you enforce that? Just, like, essentially, like, have, laws in place, or it's like the corporations that run these platforms have to abide by the constitutional rights, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to do so when it comes to international users, though, so that still kind of leaves a gap. Makes sense. Death threats need to be illegal and enforced for one. Well, obviously. Like, people like Nazis, for example, will still probably be cracked down on, and they'll probably, still cry about their censorship and shit, because legitimately, a majority of those type of motherfuckers always, like to incite things like death threats and shit, so, and incitements and violence and things like that. Like the Buffalo shooter, for example, and shit, right? That happened recently. So it's just like, you got, like, they're gonna cry about that shit, really, frankly, no matter what. So it's, like, it's like when it comes to things like death threats or incitements of violence, obviously those things are, I mean, even in a public sphere, like, if you're on a soapbox doing that shit, like, even then, like, your freedom of speech, is ended right there. Like, if you're, like, on a soapbox in the middle, like, you know, in Portland, downtown Portland, on the Pioneer Cross, at the Pioneer Cross Square, saying, we need to go out and blah, 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 redacted Ted Wheeler, because he's a piece of shit, his apartment's over, blah, 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 blah. Let's go over there, and, like, yeah, if you do that, yeah, guess what? The cops, you know, definitely got a right to fucking take you and probably arrest you for incitement of violence and shit. Honestly. Like, I mean... Like, because you're doing a, you know, death threat and all that other shit. Like, yeah, like, that's where it draws the line. If you do that in the public sphere, you're going to be penalized for it. Same rules should also apply for the internet, too. So, I mean, obviously, at least, you know, when it comes in, you know, with that type of shit, I mean, especially with the platforms that already have very enforceable TOSs, they already at least, you know, do that. And I think, you know, honestly, go even more farther with it, because there's definitely a lot of times where people are either obviously joking or not being serious or sarcastic or one way or the other, hence the whole, like, in Minecraft, you know, meme and shit, where, you know, these platforms will, you know, hit people where it's like, it's kind of obvious they're not literally directly trying to incite violence or anything like that, you know, so it's just like, I mean, you know, that's why I think, you know, there needs to at least be, you know, some sort of, like, you know, partial human enforcement to, you know, be able to sit through and understand, like, all right, this is obviously, you know, not serious. Oh, this is a direct incitement of violence. Yeah, let's hit this, you know, and that type of shit. Oh, this person's just obviously making a joke. This is, you know, a satirical, you know, form of comedy and, you know, an entertainment that this person's doing. This is okay, blah, blah, blah. You know, because an algorithm, you know, at the end of the day, just isn't going to get that shit. It's just going to hear the shit that, you know, the key things that it's looking for and just be like, oh, hit. Because I'm remembering, like, just before 2022 hit, I think sometime in December or November or some shit, Deep Fat Fried got hit because one of their co-hosts made a joke about how, because Amazon was fucking with the Bessemer union election results and shit, and one of the co-hosts made a joke like, oh, just like in November, blah, 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 you know, here, you know, they're trying to fuck us stifle the vote, blah, 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 you know, all that shit, and they got hit with that, even though it was obviously a fucking joke and not serious whatsoever. And basically, when they were fighting against it, and they were openly talking about how YouTube was responding about it, basically YouTube's implication was, oh, your audience is basically too much of a bunch of fucking idiots to understand that that's a joke, so we're gonna hit you with that, because you need to imply that there's more satire in it instead of just saying a joke. So your audience is too stupid to understand that, so we're dinging you for it. It's like, what? It's like, oh, I guess I'm too much of an idiot to understand that what they did was obviously a joke, even though from the very get-go I knew what it was. I mean, hashtag I was there. I knew what the fuck it was, and it was blatantly a joke. Like, especially because no one of the co-hosts, none of them fucking think that the election was rigged whatsoever. They're because they make fun of morons that think that. They still do. They just have to do it slightly differently, because if they do it a little too close to home to what, you know, they think and shit, they actually might be targeted like they actually are like that. Can't make jokes that are a little, you know, too radical for YouTube, because the audience might be a little too dumb to understand it. Which honestly implies that YouTube thinks that the people that watch a lot of the content on the platform and shit are a bunch of fucking idiots. That's basically what YouTube thinks of people that use the platform. if that's the implication we have to go with. Which, knowing them, yeah, I think that's what they think of the people that use the platform. Even though the fact that, like, probably a majority of people aren't. Despite maybe, you know, a lot of the content on YouTube can be pretty insipidly dumb. Like, I definitely don't think, like, a lot of people that use the platform are stupid. You know, at least like that. You know, like YouTube's trying to apply. Like, oh, they won't understand basic jokes. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Wajiki, you piece of shit. What are you doing? Yeah, you, what are you doing? Goof? Oh, here. Let me just that. There we go. Oh, probably here's my dad slowly but surely coming in. Bernie surges past Kamala in 2024 Dem primary poll. He's not even running. At least... What? Well, there's a tweet about it, so I guess it's a thing. National Democratic primary poll. Biden 33, okay, whatever. Sanders 17, Harris 12, Warren 9, Buttigieg 8, Cortez 6. Why would she run? Clinton? Oh, thank God she's at the very bottom. YouGov America. 460 people were polled. Okay, that don't mean shit. 460 people. Okay, this would mean something if it was like 100,000 people or something. 460 adults. That don't mean shit, honestly. Like, honestly, that poll, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, don't even mean shit. Like, really? 460, like, that doesn't, like, give you a scope of how America is, like, you know, feeling when it comes to polls, like, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, the primaries or whatever the hell. I mean, I guess call me cynical, but, like, I don't know. Like a poll that only has like 460 people polled at the entire country. I mean, I mean, like, if it was honestly like a large amount of people, like 100,000 or something like that might honestly say something, but Bernie surges because 460 people, you know, like 17% of, yeah, a percentile of 460 people voted for, you know, like, you know, polled for Bernie, basically. It's like, okay, and? I mean, if we're polling, like, a decent amount of the country, like, even if it was, like, in the hundreds of thousands or even tens of thousands, even then, it's just like, that would at least, you know, be like, okay. But 460? I mean, come on. That honestly doesn't really exactly mean much. Here, I just kind of want to see the updates on the District 5 results. Oh, it hasn't actually changed much? Damn. Oh, damn. You know, maybe if I, do this, maybe it'll, pop up a update. Yeah. What's up, Zukov? A right-winger and a corporate moderator or a clown car face-off. Who gets to face hardest in November? Gross! What the fuck? What are you doing, Zukov? You goofy baby. Oh, goofy baby boy. Oh, this is a good boy. Well, you're not really a good boy today. Obviously, not you, Stefano, but mostly Harley wasn't exactly watching you. He's like, oh, you were outside most of the time. It's like, no. You need to watch him. Or at least close the door. So you don't eat my food. prick. Well, I guess it really is still at 49% reported, so it hasn't updated. Damn. I guess we won't know the final results till tomorrow. But honestly, I'm pretty confident that Jamie McCloskey was going to win. This is probably the best challenger to face against Kurt Schrader in a long fucking time. And considering the results so far, I mean, it just looks like she just has it in the bag. Monterey has a better chance of seeing Maps win in 2020. I peg no chance for the right winger. Well, because honestly, especially Oregon, like there's only certain places in Oregon that a right winger actually might make it. And that's places like Clack County, Eastern Oregon, and like Southern Oregon. Outside of places like that, like a right winger isn't really gonna fare as well. Especially in places like Portland, Salem, Eugene, places like that and shit. Even in the coastal towns. I mean, not even there really. I mean, maybe. I actually really don't know necessarily, but I don't really imagine considering, like, well, I mean, I guess, because there's, like, a lot of old-ass retirees in a lot of different towns out there. I actually remember one time, like, we stopped, me and my mom and dad, actually, one time we were in the coast. I think this might have been the last time I was at the coast, but I could be wrong. But we were at this, like, little diner, and basically everybody in there was essentially, like, retired boomers, essentially. North Coast is a combo of left wing and lib, Southern Coast is Trumper. What about, like, the Central Coastal? Is that, like, kind of more mixed? Because usually whenever it comes to me visiting the coast, it's either, like, the Central Oregon coast or, like, kind of the Central Northern chunk of the coast. So, I'm guessing, like, Central's really mixed. Yeah, because I really do think so, because the last time I was at the coast, I was at Lincoln City, but I remember the diner we went to was outside of Lincoln City at, like, some tiny-ass little town. I honestly forgot the name of it, but there's, like, a tiny-ass little town outside of Lincoln City, and we stopped at, like, a little diner there, and basically, it was just north of Lincoln City, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's a little vague, because honestly, it's been a while since I've been to the coast, but regardless, like, everybody in there was essentially, like, it was back in, now that I remember, it was actually in 2015, because I remember some of the conversation that my mom and dad were having was about, like, the elections and the primaries. So, I remember it was actually back, like, in 2015, or very, very, very early 2016. But I'm pretty sure it was in 2015. And, what are you doing? But essentially, like, everybody in there was essentially, like, boomer as fuck, and I can honestly tell kind of, like, conservative as fuck, because honestly, a lot of the, especially the older people that were in there, like, the older men, like, the older white dudes, they were all giving me this, like kind of, like, this weird side-eye look, and I was just like, fuck you want? Definitely didn't necessarily feel welcome by the other patrons there. It's pretty accurate. Oh, what's up, baby? You just kind of hanging out here? Yeah, it looks about right. Oh, hey, baby, you such a wee baby. Oh. Goofy baby. My goodness. Here. See what random little things are on to. What was Glenn Greenwald's pathetic defensive Tucker calls and his great replacement theory? Oh my god. What the fuck is happening with Glenn Greenwald? He actually used to be kind of based as fuck, but now he's just like fallen off the deep end into like a sphere of I literally don't even know what the fuck. Like, what are you doing, man? Glenn, what are you doing and why are you doing it? Like, what the hell? Why? Why, Glenn? You used to be cool. You used to actually be respected. And now you're defending Tucker and his like great replacement bullshit. Considering that Carlson is at this point essentially, I feel vindicated at claiming it, especially where he's essentially a fucking Nazi that has a outlet on mainstream media. I mean, it's one thing to have kind of like borderline fascistic fucking conservative dipshits, but like a full-on Nazi motherfucker, like really? Okay, I see it. I see what we're doing here. Gross. What's with these like people who are leftists but now falling off the deep end? Like really? Like what the fuck is with this shit? Like there's Jimmy Dore, Glenn Greenwald, like what's with these people? Like why are they doing this? What the fuck? Like what weird like cuz honestly the latest thing Jimmy just fucking dropped too was like saying that Trump was more anti-war despite the contrary of his fucking administration dropping things like the Moab, wanting to like nuke North Korea with fire and fury, calling him Rocket Man and all sort of shit. Fucking like, I mean, the list goes on. It's like, what the fuck? Glenn Greenwald has already been both sides kind of guy. I mean, he was definitely more of an anti-establishment and wanting to fucking like, rile up the status quo. And it was, I mean, man, I'm just disappointed in these type of people. Where they actually were like legit worth a shit and actually, were like kind of hitting the powers that be a little bit. But now they're all just like grifting off because like I guess the money's just too good. And it's like the whole, I guess, philosophy of if you can't beat them, join them. It's just that they can't admit that they, fallen down that path and done that shit. Or maybe they did, but they just won't admit it. Is like that and a fucking grifter like Gabbard. Yeah. I mean, Gabbard always has kind of been that way a little bit. I mean, she was never like truly fully anti-war or like 100% for Medicare for all and all this other shit. Like even during the 2020 elections, even at the very start. I mean, she was kind of, at least to me, she was kind of seen as like a nice alternative possibly. But as shit eventually kind of started creeping around the corner and more came out about her and went like, seemed a little sus. And what do you know? She was sus as fuck. Oh, she's actually kind of hot though, so, you know what? I'm gonna support her. Base Tulsi because she's kind of hot, bruh. I'm gonna like drool over her because she has like sexy tits and stuff, bruh. I can't believe there were so many people that unironically supported her because of that, by the way. Oh, she's kind of sexy and I totally would love to have her dominate me and stuff like that, bruh. Like, there's so many people that support her just literally on the virtue of that she's actually pretty attractive. Which she is, but like, guess what? Her politics are still shit. So, fuck her. Expecting Gabbard to run as a Republican in 2024. I don't know if she would do that so soon. Maybe 2028. I don't know if she would do that so quickly. But gotta take a piss real quick. Here, I'm gonna pull a little tune up real quick, y'all. Listen in the meantime. Oops. Gonna be right back. Boop. What's up? Bandito, bandito. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bandit? Oh my god, you fucking maroon. Oh. You goofy baby. You're just like, well, this is too much. So much, I can't even hang. Whoa. Oh my god, look at all this fur. Oh, look at all that. You're a shedding maniac, dude. Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You little chunk. You little bandito. Yes. Oh. Excuse me? You don't need to be so You have a paw, like, right on my face. Oh my god, this fucking cat. This cat is absurd. We need to start referring to morons as Majwans as Marjorie. Yep. Who's a chungus? Yes, yes, yes. Who's a gun band? What is this fucking, like, position that you're in, dude? Who's a good boy? Yes, 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 who's a good bandito? Dude, you have so much fur all over you now. Yes. You have a paw all up my grill, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh my god, he didn't fucking destroy anything. Wow, I'm actually impressed with that. That is a ninja. He just went like ninja on me, dude. Wow. I thought he was gonna like and destroy everything. Wow, he didn't. I was trying to like flip him on, so I could hold him casually, but no, he kind of fell out of my hands and dipped that way. Zukov, you can just like leave the cat alone, okay? Jerk. Really? Well, oh my god, whatever. Ay. Oh, whoops. There we go. Dinesh D'Souza demands public apology from Tucker Carlson. Oh, because suddenly he's starting to be a Nazi. Suddenly Dinesh D'Souza's like, wait a minute, I'm not white. That doesn't refrain to me. Hold on, apologize for this. I already know what it's about. Oh my god, what a bitch. You're with him every step of the way until suddenly he starts espousing Nazi talking points basically day in, day out. What a fucking weasel lying rat. Dinesh D'Souza basically literally any word he utters out of his fucking mouth is nothing but a pure lie. He's basically the human form of a fucking parasitical weasel rat. Like, honestly, if there ever was truly such a thing in human form, Dinesh D'Souza is immediately it. What's this? Ben Shapiro tweet about Buffalo. Oh my god. I can only imagine what Ben Shapiro had to say when it came to that. Probably something that dog whistles and ablation of the same views that the motherfucker was espousing. That's what happens when liberals try to take our guns away. Weird white 18-year-old boys start getting guns and shooting things. Or something. There's just a lot of random shit about basically like either the Buffalo shooter or some of these different things about the primaries. Like, ugh, really? Goldman Sachs buys entire Florida community? Huh? I know we fuck on Florida, but like, huh? I gotta hear this.
All right, so we got this article in the New York Post. Goldman Sachs-backed firms buy entire Florida community for $45 million.
Wow, for that cheap too? Oh my god, what the?
So this is where we're at. You know, Wall Street firms are just like.
Okay, can this just basically be considered like a company town now? Like, we just have company towns. Okay, this is just company town. Like, I mean, that's essentially what just happened here. This just became a company town. Like, we just have those again now. I know Amazon's been trying to do one in Nevada for a minute, so it's just like, I mean, they've been coming back, and now it's like, yeah, we just kind of have them again. Florida voters voted for representatives of Sachs to represent them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily entirely surprised. But, like, still, like, I mean, you know, we fuck up Florida, but, like, the fundamental root problem is that, like, company towns are back, baby. Let's go capitalism, go brrr. So it's just, like, that's really, at least to me, the root of the issue. Like, yeah, I mean, it's Florida. That in itself, I'm not surprised, but... like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Like, we're just like, yeah, company towns, let's just bring it back, baby. Let's just do it. Yeah.
For Wall Street's Sunbelt Sojourn, a pair of Goldman Sachs-backed ventures gobbled up an entire rental home community in Florida last month for a cool $45 million.
Of course, it's a rental community.
Rise Interval Fund and Growth REIT 7 picked up 87.
Okay, you butchered that.
Single-family properties in Brevard County as part of an ongoing southern spending spree. Fundrise previously snatched up a 120-unit development in Pensacola and has been pouring money into other rental developments in states like South Carolina and Mississippi.
I'm starting to realize that Mao was right when it came to landlords, at least.
Continuing to soar and demographic shifts ongoing, real estate experts said Wall Street's southern appetite will only intensify. Ken Johnson, professor of real estate at Florida Atlantic University, said firms are following population trends and investing in previously disregarded regions of the country. You are seeing more and more of this.
Just look up what Mao had to say about landlords and you'll see why I said that.
Told the Post.
As you just absorb this.
Of Florida.
Like I do.
Is the same as places like Texas and Tennessee and North Carolina. These are places people are moving to and where we can expect to see future increases in population. Florida, he said, has undergone fundamental shift in recent years, morphing from a second home and a hospitality-centered economy to a year-round place of business. There is a reorganization of Florida's economy taking place, he said. Some critics have correlated Wall Street's embrace of single-family and rental homes with unprecedented price increases over the past several years. Anecdotes abound about aspiring home buyers having their bids avalanched by corporate competitors with deep pockets. That's exactly what's happening around the country. Florida has seen rents spike by more than 30%.
And in places like in Portland, too.
overall, while other Sunbelt states have seen similar hikes. But Johnson argued that corporate purchases remain a drop in the bucket of overall home transactions throughout the country. He asserted that even large-scale corporate purchases in concentrated areas do not confer enough market power to dictate rental prices. I don't buy that for a second. Other analysts contend that increasing mortgage rates will now spur even higher rents, with would-be home buyers opting for the sidelines. Yeah, see,
just a few lies by the landlord parasites to basically just be like, oh, hey, it's just like, it's not like exactly that profitable. They're just trying to make it at least like, it's like, yeah, bullshit.
This has been a problem recently.
It's like these type of fucking companies, especially like Goldman Sachs, and I think like Blackor was another one. There's been a few others that have been like doing this type of shit. And it's just like, just the idea that like, oh, we're just doing this, to try to like help, kind of improve some of the housing and shit. It's like, I know honestly, even around here, despite a lot of the infrastructure improvements, there's definitely some housing and shit that's like, this looks like very uppy class kind of bushy looking shit around here, despite the fact that there's a lot of like, impoverished people still around here and shit. It's like, there's definitely a little bit of, some sussy shit, every now and then still, but it's just like, it's just always like kind of a weird thing when I notice like these massive like 2-story, 3-story houses and shit where they're probably like, probably almost like goddamn nearly $500,000 and shit, probably, or like a third of $1 million or something. And it's like, just the average person around here can just totally afford that. Totally. I wonder if it has to do with a lot of the massive real estate firms probably owning a lot of these type of properties and speculating on them. Probably not that at all. Totally not.
Their bids avalanched by corporate competitors with deep pockets. We talked about this in regards to BlackRock too. BlackRock is going around the country and buying up, entire blocks or entire towns. And so what happens is these corporations swoop in. They buy a house or houses or an entire development. And then
I guess towns too, because, company towns are a thing that are very much coming back.
Is they'll jack up the rent and rent it back to people. And, I mean, it's ugly. Really? It's what started after the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession. So in 2008, or leading up to 2008 in the crash, what happened was you had basically a totally unregulated market where instead of having a mortgage that was reliable and steady, 30-year fixed rate or whatever they call it, what they would do is have these ballooning rate mortgages. So somebody who doesn't make enough money to buy a big house would go and buy a big house, and it would be like no money down.
I know a few people like this.
You pay,
including in my own family, by the way. Like, I know some family members that have done this, and I'm like, you fucked up.
But then eventually the interest rate would balloon. And so as soon as, the payments would get up to 8%, 12%, 16%, they would default on it. And they wouldn't be able... I
honestly know a family member who's 100% most likely going to, have this happen. Like, I have a sibling who also in an HOA, too, is bought a house for like $500,000, and it's like, you kind of fucked up, especially for the property that he has. I've been there, and it's like not worth $500,000, not even close. At most probably $250,000.
So we basically had a total house of cards. We had at the same time that was going...
Chilling tomorrow, chefing up the place. I have a day off tomorrow. I haven't been to your new place, and you know what? To at least try to make up for fucking, never showing up to your other apartment way out. That was really, honestly, realistically, the main reason is because it was so fucking out of the way and shit. At least this place is closer. Yo.
These bundles of these mortgages that would be sold off from company to company, and they were basically playing hot potato with toxic assets, just waiting for the bubble to burst. And And that's ultimately what happened. And so we had the subprime mortgage crisis, the Great Recession. We had so many people, millions of people, get foreclosed on and lose their homes. And what needed to happen was to reintroduce regulation, make it so that ballooning rate mortgages are illegal. You needed to bring back Glass-Steagall so that you have a separation between commercial banking and investment banking. So in other words, when you go to your local bank and put your money in there, they're not doing casino capitalist bets with that, which are going to go belly up eventually. And in the wake of that, so the new trick that happened in the wake of that is Wall Street said, all right, well, the problem was we were selling these houses to people who should really be buying the houses, and we were really scamming them because we would just turn a profit and sell the bad mortgage to somebody else really quickly and run out the back door with all the money. Instead of doing that, why don't we just buy the houses directly, push out people who maybe genuinely need a house and can buy a house, but will pay above the market rate and will get the house at Goldman Sachs or BlackRock or whatever. And then, so we deny them housing, and then we can rent the same house back to them and jack up the rent. The economy's a total house of cards, man. The total house of cards. And this is why, FTR famously railed against the money changers. Like, what is going on with these giant financial corporations other than they're just money changers? What value are they providing to the economy? They're not providing value. They're pushing numbers around on a screen.
And just literally maximizing profit and just, essentially maximizing the influence and power that they all have while pushing around numbers on a screen day in, day fucking out. They don't provide shit outside of, just suppressing and oppressing, people left and right, whether domestically or foreignly. Because that's, whatever it takes, to maximize their profits, all they give a shit about. Whatever it can do to make sure the coffers get bigger, bigger, bigger.
They're, denying people a chance at a home and pushing them out of the market and then jacking up their rents. So, I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't know why this is allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. It should be regulated.
I mean, outside of my little earlier Mao's right moment, like when it comes to landlords, at least specifically, I mean, honestly, yeah, this shouldn't be allowed and should be verboten in any modern society, period. But yeah, in America, it's just run-the-mill standard of how things work. So, woo! Gotta love it. Gotta love America. Patriotism, you gotta love it.
No accountability for Wall Street. There never has been. There never has been. How many Wall Street bankers who committed fraud as part of their business model went to prison after 2008?
Like, probably in the negatives. If anything, they got golden parachutes. Like, come on. I mean, it's like those motherfuckers, are getting parachutes left and right when it comes to that shit.
Guys, to put in the comment section. So, they're back on their bullshit, man. They're back on their bullshit. And
I guess unless it's Iceland, because Iceland at least cracked down on their fucking shit to the point where they actually made their prime minister at the time resign. Because he was caught, doing a bunch of fucking corporate money laundering and fucking being a bed of the banks and shit. And Iceland basically reformed for the better and actually recovered quickly in the, not just quickly, but the quickest out of all the fucking modern nations and shit. And, I mean, look at it today. Like, if anything, it's probably one of the better countries to probably live in when it comes to Europe. Because at this point, they now just even implemented things like a 4-day work week when it comes to all their citizens, when it comes to workers and shit. Like 90-something% of their fucking workplace workers are unionized. Healthcare is universal. Decent ass infrastructure, like, legit actually look good, like a good place to be. I mean, I've been there for like a fucking week, and I, just even being there years ago, like, just shows that. So, just seeing it with my own eyes, even though, like I said, it was years ago. I mean, it's just like, I mean, it just still shows, like, how better they have it over there versus we do. Even in the rural country. Like, even their more rural areas are far better off in comparison to ours. And honestly, it's, the only thing they probably lack on when it comes to things is, like, the villages and rural areas when it comes to infrastructure. Like, you know, some places, you know, the roads aren't necessarily as kept up when it comes to certain parts of rural areas or maybe certain villages and shit, but honestly, in comparison to U.S. Standards when it comes to lack of proper infrastructure, their shit is nothing. Like, there's this, like, maybe mid-tier infrastructure here, like, which is at least okay, you know, but, you know, so it's like, at worst, their infrastructure is okay. Which is at least, you know, way better than us. Because, like, for the most part, like, most places in the country, the infrastructure is, like, okay, and then, like, outside of that is either usually, like, shit, crumbling, or just beyond disrepair that it's embarrassing for a first world nation. So it's just like, I mean, like, the worst they have it is pretty much, you know, the best we have it outside of exception to the rural areas, like maybe Portland or Seattle, for example. So it's just like, outside of certain areas, it's like, But his tummy's all upset because he had spicy chicken with a bunch of onion and garlic powder, and he's probably got a really upset stomach right now. Yeah, you regret eating my chicken, don't you little shit? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You regret eating my chicken now? See how bad you feel? See how you've been feeling like this the entire night. Little dummy. Oh, what a little goofball. Anyway, so yeah, other random little things on too. Because if not, I might load one more little bowl. Didn't count good, but let's see here. Bernie slams mansion and cinema saboteurs or sabotagers. I'm pretty sure the more proper term would be saboteurs, not sabotagers. I guess either way would work, I guess, but though realistically, honestly, it's like a no shit. Of course there's sabotagers or saboteurs, whichever the proper term is. I'm just gonna go with saboteurs. Sounds more accurate. I mean, a fat chunk of the DNC, honestly, like the majority of the DNC are a bunch of saboteurs. So it's like, yeah, of course they are. Wait, what the hell? The Vosh pit. Vosh, wait, why the Incredibles is fascist? The Incredibles? Oh my god. Alright, I think I'm realizing I had enough internet for a night. Jesus Christ. Okay, The Incredibles is not like, okay. Like, it's not exactly progressive or left, it's actually kind of conservative in a lot of its commentary, but fascist, are we serious? Oh my god, wow. That's a stretch. What the fuck? Oh my god. I actually, like, want to hear that, but I don't even want to, like... I don't know if I could stomach it tonight. I don't know if I can hang with it tonight. I'll have to, like, listen to it tomorrow or something. Like, at worst, it's, like, kind of conservative right-wing, like, as a cartoon movie, or I guess movies, because there's a second one. But, I mean, honestly, as a film, it's not even, or... I haven't seen the second one, so at least for the first one, it's not even that bad. Like, the first movie was actually kind of good. I liked it, but... The Incredibles is fashion. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I mean, when it comes to throwing around fascists, I mean, like, I'm willing to liberally throw it around, but, like, that's definitely, I think an element where that's just a stretch. That's just a little bit of a stretch. Good Lord, Vosh. Come on. You know what? I think I might listen to it tonight because that might give me a good laugh as I go to bed. As I slowly morph into a food coma. I feel like that'll give me some giggles as I go to sleep. You know, yeah, I think I might do that. So I might try to stomach it as I go into a slow food coma as I go to bed. That sounds like a plan. Because I honestly really, now that I'm like processing it, I actually want to know, how is it? How is The Incredibles fascist? I want to see how Vosh breaks it down. Because I guarantee I'm probably going to disagree with it. I mean, because, like, yeah, it's conservative in a way when it comes to his commentary, but, like, whatever. Definitely enough internet for tonight. Anyway, get myself some food, fill my belly up. But of course, I'll be back around for the next one, so peace out.